Hey guys, Finlox here, back with a new new let's play, blind let's play, whatever. This is Riven, the sequel to Myst. This is actually the 1997 version. You can get this on GOG still. You can still get this on GOG for about $6 at full price. Um, I think I just got it on sale for like $3 or something like that. So either way, it's probably worth it. Now there is a new remastered version with quality of life upgrades and stuff, and that's, I don't know, 20-30 bucks. So if that's interesting to you, then pick it up. If you like puzzle games, then Riven is allegedly one of the, not one of the founding games, but also probably one of the, my understanding is it's regarded as one of the best ones. So hopefully we have a good time doing this. Now, I played Myst when I was a kid. I don't really remember much of it. But puzzle games were okay. And lately I've grown to, full disclosure, I've basically grown to dislike them. The reasons are, there's several. One is, just my time is at a premium lately. And in addition to that, I have a scarcity mindset. So I don't really like my time being wasted, and especially with puzzle games, because they are typically, um, they are a combination of moon logic and pixel hunting, right? So you have to click on the right thing, and also, um, there's just, it doesn't make any freaking sense. You know, whether you agree or disagree, I would advance The Longest Journey, which I just recently played, as a case study of that, because so many of the puzzles only made sense once you knew the solution. Then you're like, oh yeah, I can see why the developers did it this way. Like backwards, it makes sense, but forwards, trying to deduce it, no freaking clue. Makes no sense at all. So at least when I was a kid, and I played Myst, my buddy played Myst, we sort of played it together, or a little friend group. And then I was like, I'm not gonna play Riven. Also, I was poor, and my buddy was like, it's good, but play it with a guide. That's what he told me. And so it's been on my list. It's been on my backlog for, since that time, since 1997, to the point where I got it, and I literally got the CD version with the guide. And this guide is so old that back in the day when they printed guides, because this was before the internet, they didn't, only the front, only the cover was in color. The actual pages are black and white. Any pictures in it, also black and white. Color color was expensive. But so my thought is, we'll actually give this, I realize I'm sort of rambling, but this is sort of the setup of the game, or of like my reasoning behind it, because Longest Journey I didn't really care for the puzzles too much. Puzzles in general I don't really care for too much. But because I played Oberdin and I feel like I didn't give that one a fair shake, um, I would like to give this a fair shake. Now, whether I do or not, that will remain to be seen. I mean, there's a reason people recommended using the guide for this one, because it's probably, even though it's one of the best, it's probably also one of the most obtuse. There's a reason games have evolved, in almost 30 years, right? Because this is what, 97, so it's, Jesus Christ, I can't do math. It's 27 years old, 28 years old, something like that. Older than some of you guys, possibly. Anything else? Yeah, so I have a pad and paper. Part of me wanted to draw like a dick on this, just you know, what I mean, as I flashed it or whatever. But no, I'm gonna actually try and do this the right way. Hopefully, we'll see. We'll see. My patience might not last. But I know that you know, you basically need to like translate shit and write stuff down and do all that. So I guess let us jump in. And regarding the Obra Dinn, part of the reason I didn't give it a fair shake was because I thought it was going to be more of a story driven mystery, with some minor puzzle elements, or you know, story with puzzle elements, not puzzle, not like spreadsheet logic puzzle with story flavoring. You know what I mean? Like it's my thought was it was backwards. So all right, let's start new game. Also the hand thing, yeah, this is back in the day. Uh it's entirely possible that the hand thing screws everything up. We'll see. Ubisoft, which blows my mind, right? Before they become known for Far Cry alone and for screwing everything up, basically, they were actually publishing unique games, right? EA was the same way. And then you have Sign. Part of the reason I wanted to do like the old one was because you could see. I'm a big proponent of seeing things how they originally were, and especially with remasters getting censored and edited and all that stuff lately. I want to see the original.
Thank God you've returned. I need your help.
Hopefully this sounds okay.
There's a great deal of history that you should know. But I'm afraid that I must continue my writing. Here. Most of what you'll need to know is in there. Keep it well hidden. For all reasons you'll discover, I can't send you to Riven with a way out. But I can give you this. It appears to be a linking book back here to Dunny. But it's actually a one-man prison. You'll need it, I'm afraid, to capture Gan. Once you've found Catherine, signal me, and I'll come with a linking book to bring us back. There's also a chance, if this all goes well, that I might be able to get you back to the place that you came from.
So like I said, it's been a while since I played Myst. But I remember it's something like you find a book and it's a linking book, which means it sucks you into another world. And then yep, so we don't have control yet. It's actually another cutscene.
Yo? Feriaje. Kakaware po. Namudugoy po me po. Tagema. Rekoa. Tagema. Busu rekoa. Wisirapo. Wisirapo. Umutika bukuwa nai. Wisirapo. Umutika bukuwa nai.
The sound changed. See, I don't know if he's dead or knocked out. All right, so I wanted to be as quiet as possible. Something that I don't know. Here, let's see if we have control now. So let me. Yeah, we'll save. We'll save. So this is using the Scum VM engine, because and hopefully it all works without issues. Let's save over this one. Save one, sure. Okay, but the setup. So, at least for me, this was originally designed for 4x3 monitors, not the 16x9 that we have these days. What is, man, it's so interesting how far we've come, right? Because, so basically, what you kind of see in this window is I've actually cut the sides down a little bit because it's pillar box, right? At least for me on the monitor, there's black bars. That's why when I pulled up the save thing, that's what's set to the normal thing. Like it's running in a it's being emulated or whatever, however it exactly works, right? But you go to the setup and then monitor adjustment, follow these instructions to ensure optimum color balance. Turn the contrast of your monitor up as high as it will go. Can't see the symbol within the orange square. Turn the brightness of your monitor up until the symbol becomes visible. Slowly turn the brightness of the monitor down until the symbol within the orange square just turns black. This was before Steam. And so as a result, just getting things to work on PC was a huge pain in the ass. There was no standardization, which is what Steam brought, basically. So you never knew if the things were going to work with your computer or not. Like, indie games were non-existent because in order for a company, like a publisher or a developer or whatever, what's going on, Mr. Cat? Are you doing okay? Um, what's the word? Man, I lost my train of thought a little bit. Yeah, so there was so many different, sound cards and graphics cards and configurations and all that stuff. You really needed money for quality testing to make sure things worked on as many things as possible. You want to come up here, Mr. Cat, or are you going up there? Where are you going? You're deciding? Well, here, you can come up here if you want. Okay. And so it was, oh, there we go. As a result, there was stuff. You may have difficulty, especially if you're using a gamma utility and have it set incorrectly as a last resort. You may want to try to match the 3 Riven images at right to the prints on the back of the Riven box. Yep. And then volume adjustment, adjust the volume of your computer using the 2 sounds above as reference. The Cyan production team has put a lot of effort into the sound and music of Riven. It is sampled at a high rate and is in stereo. Most internal computer speakers about the size and quality of the speaker in a common house phone. We highly recommend external stereo speakers or headphones. Yeah, see, this is like in the era basically of gateway computers or whatever, when having actual speakers for your computer was also not like monitors were CRT monitors. They were like the big square ones. They were basically TV sized, right? And having actual speakers, wasn't necessarily a luxury, but it was, you know, semi uncommon, I guess. But so you have reference sounds. I think this one's loud. We'll see. You know, and so I've kind of the problem is that at least Riven has loud sounds and it has quiet sounds, right? So I click on this, and this is like the wind and stuff. And so you might not hear very much of this, and I don't know. I try my best, but I can't. I can't have the loud sounds be too loud, you know. So, oh, and I can't click on that. Okay, all right. So that is that, and I thought that was particularly interesting. So let us resume, I suppose. And there's the sound again. Now something else is. Okay, so what I remember of Myst is there. I probably should have looked up the story or whatever, but I remember I think the story is that you find a book and it sucks you into a world, right? And then you explore the world and you find two books, and two other books, and inside the books are basically like what you saw, like little videos of people, and they're like, bring me the red pages, bring me the blue pages, right? And they're trying to tell you that the other one is evil. Like, oh no, I'm the good one, the other guy's evil, he trapped me in here. That's what they both tell you. And I think as you bring blue and red pages, it unlocks more of the world or something. So, but the thing is, it's a false dichotomy. They're both evil, right? So by exploring and solving the puzzles, you eventually, I think, get the true ending, because that was one of the other revolutionary things of the time, is multiple endings, right? But basically, both of them are evil, and both of them were sealed in books by the dude that we saw at the very beginning. And I don't know his deal exactly. I just know that he's a writer, but the books that he created are pathways to worlds. And I think he's actually, I don't remember if he's actually creating the worlds or not, but I think he is. And so I think you free him, but then I don't know exactly what happens. He said Catherine is missing. I don't know if that's his wife. But there's no way for us to get home at the moment. But he sends us to Riven, and there may have been like a stinger at the end of Myst talking about that. But let's see, what is this? Okay, yes. Okay, that's... So we saw a couple things. We got in here, and then the thing closed like it's a trap. And then the first dude that we saw, there seems to be at least two factions, right? That dude, he's all like, oh, hey, I'm so friendly, and then steals something from you. Steals what appears to be a linking book, or the trap book, or whatever. And then someone else comes and takes him out. But they're not necessarily friendly, per se, because they took the book and left. And then I think we'll be able to see it. I think they disabled this switch. So... Okay, and then this is long, but we'll read that. We'll kind of do a lot of this stuff first. Okay, so I guess you can't. Right. Okay, that's interesting. So, and a star. Look up. Why? Look down. Okay, so this is where we turn. And I think the curved finger, I should probably see if I could find my actual instruction manual, because this is... Or I should probably download the instruction manual. That's what I'll have to do before the next episode, because this is back in the day when instruction manuals are like that little cutscene. They're expecting that you've actually read the manual, right? Okay, so we can turn. Oh, and see, that's... Oh, that must be the dome. The dome in the picture. I'm sure some of the stuff's been spoiled, and I've probably looked through that guide that I mentioned or showed at the beginning, but I don't remember. I don't remember much. I remember something like the numbering system is base 12. I think that's a big one. That's probably a big one. Oh, hey, look, you can see stuff in the background. That's cool. And then, yeah, I think we click on this. Yep. So there's some kind of... Looks like a knife or something jammed into the gear. And this is where I talk about quality of life stuff. Because you click here and nothing happens. It doesn't... The cursor doesn't change if you go over the handle. But clearly something changes. So this is what I mean about, like, pixel hunting and stuff. And then it's also really hard to see this thing right here. Oh, and at least in addition to the pillar box, for me, there's a bar. There's a black bar at the bottom, which you guys also have. I tried cutting off the sides a little bit. But, you know. Okay. So that knife thing seems to match this thing, I suppose, right there. But it's not letting me click on it or anything. Just saying up and down. Alright. Why? Don't know. Alright. Go here. Oh. Okay. I don't... Yeah. All right. So you need some kind of code, obviously, to open the hatch. I don't know what this is supposed to do exactly, but it does something clearly. Can I look up? I can. Okay. Another shot of the dome and whatever the hell this is. Oh, okay. See, this is going to be a huge pain in the ass as well, because this is where you click on everything. Okay. Sounds like an air tube or something. Oh, and alright. The now I guess one of the good things is that we don't have... There's a bridge or something right there. I don't think we have an inventory, so that's helpful. Right, so it's just whatever we click on and activate. You click on something, it activates something. Oh, and this is a full turn, I see. Oh, and there's a better shot of the knife. And then, a pit, I guess. Alright, so nothing we can do at the moment. Yep. Now, if I remember right, this game was actually 5 CDs back in the day, right? There may or may not be some transition movies, but that was expensive and... Like, this is the era of pre-rendered cutscenes, and if I remember right, this is 97, which is the same year that Final Fantasy VII came out. Am I correct on that? So, alright, first, let's read all of this. Hopefully it's not too much. And then I guess we'll stop for today. Okay. 87,610. 87. Oh, yeah. So also, one of the reasons I was actually curious about this is because I don't know, I was kind of searching I searched online. I think I said like, I hate puzzle games or something along those lines. And Google, since they've been doing the AI thing lately, kind of sucks. Um, but but something popped up on Reddit, and there was one, I don't even remember the topic, but one of the comments, and it was like some puzzle subreddit, some puzzle video game subreddit, I think, and it might have been something like, I don't really like puzzle games. Recommend me a good place to start. Um, and someone basically broke down. They're like, these are all the different uh, categories. It's like, oh, Bejeweled and Match 3 games. They're sort of puzzle games, but they teach you to, look forward and plan your moves and all that stuff. But they mentioned, and each one gave examples. I'm not convinced it wasn't a bot that responded, but because you never know these days. But I think this was one of the things they talked about, where there are puzzle games that don't really have a story, but they have a lot of lore. And what the whole point of that is to give you the context which enables you to solve the puzzles. And so that, because I expect we're going to have to translate. Oh, you're right there, Manny. I expect we're going to have to translate languages in this, possibly. So, yeah, that kind of piqued my interest a little bit, which is why I have the pad and paper and stuff, and I'm like, pen and paper, whatever. Which is why I'm like, okay, let's maybe give this a shot. Maybe I'll actually enjoy it, because one day I would like to do La Mulana, and I know that requires basically writing everything freaking down. And also because I feel slightly bad about not giving the Obra Dinn the chance. Although at the same time, it sort of the game itself didn't pull a bait and switch, but my expectations were mismanaged somehow. So 87-610. They held for more than 30 years, but the corrections I made to Riven have finally failed. The island has resumed the familiar pattern of decay that is the hallmark of my father's work. I must now race to implement this new patch before it's too late. I only hope that my revised theories are sound. 87-616, which I assume it's year, month, day, which I think this is the European style. Revisions to Riven completed. There are still a number of minor adjustments which need to be made, but the basic corrections have been entered and should be working. Something's not right. I've been monitoring the instruments for several hours now, but have thus far observed no change. It's possible that I've made an error, though I've checked my entry against my pre-notation and can find no discrepancy. I've not had a rest in nearly 3 days, so it may be that I'm just not seeing it. If the fault is with my foundational assumptions, however, perhaps after a short rest I will see something. On the 18th. Success. It appears that my repairs have been effective after all. The gateway image has become noticeably clearer, and although it is impossible to know this with absolute certainty, the island seems to have quieted itself. Just a few more weeks of work, and I should be free at last to go there myself and attempt to bring Catherine back. The past 8 months have left me little time to think, to devise a strategy for getting her out of there. I've received no sign from her in all that time. 8 months? Yeah. I'm afraid that no, I must assume that she is all right, lest my fears undermine my efforts to bring her back. Let's see. I did not create the Age of Riven. Unlike my father, I have never presumed to have such power, and yet the future of all those who live there has fallen into my hands. So far, I've managed to read the page before it turns. The island continues to appear stable, and I would like to believe that I've saved a dying world, but the theories of one individual cannot support the lives of real people indefinitely. I must get everyone off of Riven as soon as possible. The problem now is Geen. I'll never be able to rescue Catherine and relocate the islanders if he is still the man he once was. I haven't seen him in over 30 years, but his history forces me to assume he is still a threat. His myopic mission to restore the Denis civilization had left too many innocent cultures dying in its wake, and would continue to do so were he to once again be free of the confines of Riven. or the Fifth Age, as he coldly titled it. And there's more games like Myst, and I think I saw there was a fourth one, like the Fourth Age or something like that. It's in the same series, I guess. Another sequel or multiple sequels. The universe has been safe from his corruptive influence for the last 33 years because no one has been able to leave that age. The last linking book out of Riven having been lost in the Starfisher upon my return to Myst. That was my intention to maroon my father on Riven by removing all the existing links to other worlds. Oh, is that his father, Geen? And since the art of constructing books had long been lost with the fall of the Denis, he would be trapped there for the remainder of his lifetime and effectively segregated from the countless other worlds that he would have invaded. In effect, that is what we achieved, but the way it fell, however, was no one's ideal. Though the sting of the incident has gradually faded from my memory, the deep pain of the responsibility for what actually came to be has never left me. At the time, it all seemed so clear. Geen's destructive path could not be allowed to continue, but it was never my choice that the innocent inhabitants of Riven, who had already suffered so much, would be the ones to pay for it. Yeah, so I suspect this is basically laying the foundation of the story and the lore, because anyone that played Myst back in the day, there was very little story. That was kind of the thing. It's like you found this book, you get sucked into the world, and then you have to figure out what's going on. And at the end, you see the dude that you just saw, that you freed, or found him, or whatever. And yeah, you probably got a couple minutes of cutscene, and then that's it. Yep. Enough to dwell in the past is to die in the present. The situation is not the same as it was then. The knowledge I've acquired in the years since that time has yet to be applied to this problem. I think I have the solution. Why it did not occur to me sooner, I do not know, unless the idea of it had been pushed out with the thought of my sons. A prison book. Many years ago, during a hunting expedition through the ruins of Denis, I chanced upon a formula for a most unusual type of book. Unfortunately, due to the fact that my father was then in the habit of confiscating my discoveries, I was forced to leave it behind. Years later, however, as part of my efforts to protect the vulnerable worlds linked to the books in my library, I was pleased to find that I could still recall most of the formula, and with little experimentation quickly succeeded in creating one of these devices myself. The procedure is actually quite simple. By altering key lines of text but slightly, a normal linking book's connection can be partially severed, such that anyone who attempts to use the book will be permanently trapped in the dark void of the link. That is, unless someone else then uses the book, at which point that person would become trapped and the first person displaced back into the world. The technique can be applied to books that have already been written, changes to the original text being so slight that anyone who is unfamiliar with the code will be unable to detect them. If indeed my father has not changed, what better bait could there be than a book that appeared to be a link back here to Denis? Okay. Trouble. My nightly analysis of the island's condition has revealed that tremors have begun again. The pattern, however, is new. The disturbances are the result of the changes I've made. This did not at first concern me, however. Tremors of this type were one of the possible side effects that I had anticipated during this initial phase of the island's readjustment. Still, in order to verify my assumptions, I decided to calculate again, incorporating the new data. The results were not what I expected. The damage to the understructure is more extensive than I'd realized. I can no longer go to Riven as planned. Catherine, forgive me. I must act while I still have the time. The signs are barely visible, but there's no question the island's deterioration is accelerating. Total collapse is imminent unless I can keep ahead, and that is becoming increasingly difficult to do. With every passing moment, I gain a clearer picture of the incredible chaos that my father's economy of words has yielded, but it is a dismaying process. The complexity of the problem is overwhelming. There is no end to this. The last few days have all but convinced me the collapse of Riven is inevitable, and that at best I can only strive to delay it now, and hope that at some point the island will become stable enough to risk a rescue attempt. I think I've come up with a way to subdue the tremors. It will require my exclusive attention for at least a month or two, so it may be necessary to discontinue these journal entries for a while. And it's This is the 7th, and this is 8 days later. Something truly miraculous has happened. Beyond all conceivable probability, someone has finally found my lost missed linking book and has freed me from this prison. I immediately realized that this could be the solution to my dilemma, and I believe my mysterious benefactor is willing to assist me. I'm still not sure it can work. The logistics of such a scheme are formidable, but the mere fact that it may now be possible for me to continue my repairs to Riven and yet proceed with my original intent to find Catherine has given me renewed hope. The last few days have left me little time to work at the remaining problems with sending someone else to Riven. It did occur to me, however, that if a way could be found to signal me once Geen had been captured, it would no longer be necessary to take a real linking book to Riven. Okay. A way could be found to signal me. I risk the possibility of inadvertently releasing Geen. The deteriorated state of the gateway image makes the use of a visual signal impossible, but the picture remains a reliable indicator of Riven's condition nonetheless. By measuring and interpreting variations in the noise patterns, I'm still able to observe basic changes that occur in the age, even though I cannot see them. The problem is that my instruments can only detect changes that occur on a fundamental level, and it seems unlikely that an individual could affect such an elementary change from within an age. The idea may be foolish. Still, there is a known weakness that may be worth investigating, an anomaly that appears as a rift between two separate systems, the star fissure. But how, or even if this fact could be exploited, I cannot say. Sending someone to Riven also means that once I received the signal they were ready to return, I would have to leave my writing in order to take a real linking book there myself. However, provided my father was safely out of the way, this should take very little time. After that, assuming the island does not incur much damage in my absence, it should then be a relatively simple matter to hold it together long enough for Catherine to return to Riven and evacuate the remaining islanders. Predetermining a signal without knowing the topography of the island may prove to be impossible, but I'm afraid there could be only one answer to the question of whether or not I should send my friend to Riven with a way out. The potential for failure will be greatly diminished if the prison book is all that is taken there. I'm sure my father is expecting me to bring a linking book to Riven. May he not be disappointed. Okay, so that's a lot of stuff, and I'm sure, like, the star fissure, all of that. Save game. Save. Yeah, and I'm sure this symbol is it's important, probably, right? So yeah, that's a lot of stuff. I'll probably pull up the probably stop now, pull up the manual, read that, and then next time I'll tell you guys what I read. You know? So that is it for today, I guess. Not much of an episode, but you know, all beginnings have to start somewhere. All things have to have some sort of a beginning. Wish me luck, I guess. Although by the time you'll see this, I'll probably have at least another 7 to 10 episodes. We'll see. I might do this intermixed with a different game, just so that I could, you know, it might actually be worth like doing like this as a side let's play, and just so I could be like, oh, let's do an episode. Oh, there's a puzzle. Okay, let's play something else while I let it marinate in my mind or whatever. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Yeah. Anyway. That is it for today, guys. Thank you guys so much for your time and attention. Really do appreciate it. Really hope you guys are enjoying these episodes. If you haven't been to my channel before, welcome. If you have, welcome back. Excuse me. I need to eat. I'm kitty foot. Like, I'm hungry. As always, guys, questions, comments, concerns, good, bad, or indifferent, let me hear them. I do read all of them. I do try and respond to all of them as well. Something I like to do at the end of every episode is it's a unique positive moment. Now, the way it's supposed to be done is you're supposed to have 3, and you're supposed to write them down before you go to bed, like right before. And what it's supposed to be 3 unique positive moments. That way, it's kind of difficult. You can't use the same ones. And basically, it sort of trains your brain over time. So you go through your day seeking the positive. And it's supposed to counteract the fact that everything is so negative, and it's supposed to, either make you happier or more neutral as a result, basically, right? So, what is your guys' unique positive moment for today? For me, I guess I would say starting the playthrough. Part of the reason I'm doing this channel is to play a bunch of games that I don't know if I necessarily would on my own. And in the case of this one, it's something that shown my age a little bit. I've been wanting to play it for 27 or 28 years. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to give it the fair shake that it hopefully deserves. So that's nice. But yeah, that's my unique puzzle moment. Hopefully your guys just as good, if not better. Hopefully better, of course. Hope to see you guys next time. Till then, guys, take care.